In this segment of It's Scary to Remarry, I'm going to discuss the vetting process for men and choosing the right woman for marriage. What's up, Brave Hearts community? This is Shon Hyneman here with another segment of It's Scary to Remarry, wanting you to love fearlessly. And about this topic, let me give a disclaimer real quick about this whole vetting process for men, right? Most men, not all, but most men, just want to sleep with as many women as possible. Marriage isn't the first thing on their mind, okay? And that can range from any age of men. Sometimes if they get a little older, maybe like in their 50s or something like that, they aren't too, hardwired for sex. But let's just get that out of the way right now. Most men just want to have sex. I mean, their first option isn't thinking about marriage. So let's get that out the way. Let's give the definition of the word vetting or the word vet. Let's talk about it. The definition is make a careful and critical examination. Now, this is the part that I love. Investigate someone thoroughly, especially in order to ensure that they are suitable for a job requiring secrecy, loyalty, or trustworthiness. So I know a lot of times we use the word vetting process a lot, but I just wanted to give a definition to it to make sure that you get the fullness of what that word means, because sometimes we throw words around and we have an idea of what the definition is, but really not understanding the fullness of it. So when you get the revelation of the definition, you're just that much more you're more precise in the way you go about this vetting process, because now you really get it. You have a word to really match what you're trying to do. I'll give you a quick scenario real quick. There was a girl that I was talking to, a lady that I was talking to before I met my wife. And she was cool. We talked. She was long distance, lived in another state. I don't know if you watching this video, but if you are, there's no shade. We already talked about this. I will say that she was a great person. Personality, we talk regularly, things of that nature. But to me, what was the red flag for me was, and this is me vetting her, right? This is what I'm doing. This is intentional. This is personal. I would ask her about, hey, you want to have Bible study? Because a personal relationship with God is important to me. For me, okay? Everybody else's situation is different. And she was like, yeah, okay, we'll have Bible study or whatever. Because to me, if you had that personal relationship with God, and I'll talk about that a little later, that stands out to me. And having Bible study and just talking about the Bible, we ain't got to be deep theologians or anything, but just basically, what is God saying to you in this scripture? And that's basically what the way we look at Bible study. So I was asking her that, hey, you want to have Bible study? She was like, yeah, we'll have Bible study one day. We'll have Bible study. So I was like, okay. A couple days go past. She really didn't want to talk about it or whatever. So I felt like I was kind of pressing her about it, because she kept, trying to change the conversation. So I was like, okay. So to me, in my head, that told me that wasn't as important to her. And no knock against her, that just really wasn't her thing. And she came out and told me eventually, she was like, I don't even really want to have Bible study. I love God and all the other stuff, but that's basically, she was saying it's just too much for her. Like, that's not my thing. Red flag for me. So I was like, all right, friend zone. She's cool. That doesn't mean that I'm just gonna just drop her off the face of the planet. Even though, I just kind of slowly but surely kind of just trailed away a little bit, because I was like, okay, we can be cool, but we won't have to talk to the level that we used to. So sometimes I think we ignore those red flags when it comes to our core values, not so much of just some things that are optional, but our core values. And I think that's where we go wrong. Now, here's my top traits or qualities when vetting for a spouse. These are mine. So I would like to let you know that every man is different. Again, everyone, this isn't universal, but I just want to give, especially for the ladies, just my list and what that looked like in my personal life and what I was looking for when I decided to remarry. Because sometimes it could be scary to remarry if you don't know what you're looking for in a potential spouse, or even if you're not sure of yourself if you haven't got that proper healing and stuff. So here's my list, and it might surprise you, but it's all good. Number one in my vetting process when I'm trying to find a wife is the personal relationship with God. As you know, I'm Christian. This is very important to me. I talked about that earlier about the girl that I was talking to, because to me, in my world, I feel like if you don't have that personal relationship with God, then you're going to expect me to be your everything. I can't be your everything. Only God can be that. And who's going to, like, who makes the rules in the house? You know, if we don't have a set of rules in the house, how do we know how to raise our children, or who, you know, who's going to be the lead in certain areas? Like, where's the North Star? You know, is the house going to be ran based on you because you're a woman and you have more power, or, you know, you using sex as a tool? Like, all these different things. My thing is, if we both follow a set of guidelines, and again, this can be any religion, this can be Christianity, if you're Buddhist, if you're Muslim, it just depends. I believe that if you both have those same set of rules, it helps your house run a little smoother. And it's not so much about beating this person over the head with the Bible or anything of that nature. It's more of, we at least have this set of core values together. And this is basically what the Word of God says, so we should abide by that. That's why the personal relationship with God, with me, is important. Personal relationship, that's apart from me. Not me being the Bible for you, but having your own personal relationship, your own Bible study time with God, as well as collective. And then that's something that we can have together as a family. Number two is looks. Now, I could say that's number one, and looks are very important, but it doesn't make any sense for you to be as fine as you are and then you don't have that personal relationship with God. So it doesn't make any sense to me. The third one, and I will say this is probably, this is kind of like in order. You can kind of shuffle some of them. It depends. Number three is the core values. Do they have integrity? Do they have commitment? I think these things are very important, because your core values really show who you are. At the end of the day, it's what goes on when no one is looking. It's how you treat other people. Integrity. Do you follow through with the things that you say? Like, are you a committed person? Do you commit to a person, or are you ready to jump ship as soon as stuff hit the fan? So those are very important to me. Another one is hold me down when times get rough. This was one thing that I loved about my wife when we met. When we met some obstacles, she was there. She went hard with me. We just thugged it out, made it work. And I appreciate her for that, and never threw it in my face, none of that stuff. She always wanted to make sure that I was good. That means a lot to me. Can you stimulate me mentally? Can we read books together? Can we grow and mature together? There's nothing more attractive than a woman who can stimulate me mentally. I think that's very important. For some men, that's important as well. You know, the sex is easy. The sex will be there. You know, don't judge everything based on sex. It just clouds your judgment. But can we read books together? Do we have like a book of the month or something that we're reading together, and then we can read a chapter and then go back and say, what did you learn about this? What did you think really stood out to you in this chapter? See, you're going to find out so much about this person when you do those things. So if you can stimulate me mentally by us reading books together, having soul-stirring conversations, things that make you think twice about things, to make you even want to unlearn some stuff, or the miseducation of some things, you know, where we growing together, I think that's important. Because sometimes in marriages and relationships, you either growing or you regressing. There's no middle ground. You either getting better or you're getting worse. So I think if we reading books together, we're on the same page. It brings up so many interesting conversations, stuff that you wasn't even thinking about. It will come to your mind once you read certain books together. Do you have self-awareness? Are you aware of your shortcomings? That if I called you out, could you accept that? You know, if I called you out on the carpet and we talked about some things, can you receive that and not shut me down? You know, even if I call you out on the carpet and we deal with it, we work through the process, can we still have sex that night? You know, without closing the doors of the church? Is everything dry now because I called you out? You know what I'm saying? So having self-awareness is everything. I think if you can accept your flaws and be willing to work on those things, I think that's an attraction. I think that's something that really puts a woman on a different level. Are you hospitable? Do you have femininity, loving and caring? You know, these things, the things that kind of help makes a woman, like the femininity, the softness, the love, the caring, like all these different things. I think those are attractive traits of a woman. Her femininity, like she's in her very essence. That's not saying that she can't have masculine energy too. I get that, but for the most part, her very essence is feminine. And I will say this too, you know, do you have a little edge to you? Just a little bit. You know, you don't have to be thugged out or anything, but just a little touch of gangster, just a little bit. I think every man likes a woman who can help hold him down too. That, you know, yeah, he's Big Papa or whatever, but she's like, I ain't no joke either. You know, I love that. And I believe a lot of men like that too as well. But she ain't got to be hood, you know, but she just got a little gangster to her. She can be feminine and have a little bit of edge to her. And the last but not least, this is something that I really enjoy, something that I enjoy about vetting a woman, is something that's a bonus. This is like the cherry on top. It isn't essential, but if you have it, this is going to put you ahead. This is going to put you over the competition. Is if you love 90s and 2000s hip hop. You know, if you love that era, that 90s and 2000s, if you can rap some of the music that was during that era, and we can listen to the same music and repeat the word line for line. I can say something and you say something and vice versa. You got me. You know, and I'm sure some guys like that in a woman too. And again, that's just the icing on the cake. That isn't a deal breaker. That's if you have it, you got me. I would love you long time. Thanks for watching this video on this whole vetting process. Again, every man is different. This isn't universal. I was just giving some of the ladies, just kind of a look behind the scenes as far as the way men see things when it comes to this process of knowing that maybe she can be his wife. Because a man knows within 3 to 6 months if you're going to be marriage material. The list can go longer. The list can be, some people have a whole laundry list. But those are my core things that I believe that really makes a woman stand out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Leave a comment below. Let me know what some of your what your vetting process look like, and some of your requirements. I would love to hear in the comment section, or see in the comment section. And if you are listening on iTunes, Spotify, or if you listen to, especially on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a rating and review. I would love to hear from you in that area, whether if it's 1 star or 5 star. Let me know if this podcast is hitting for you, or maybe it's just trash. I don't know, but leave a rating and review. I appreciate it. This is Shon Hyneman here at A Scared to Remarry, wanting you to love fearlessly. Take care, people.